Thank you very much. It's a privilege and a fantastic opportunity to be here. This is a house that echoes to the rest of the world, so it's very interesting to be here, very important, especially in this week. I'd like to start saying that I'm an optimistic in spite of all the negative elements that you hear here the whole day. And the reason why I'm an optimistic, I'm not going to say a but, I'm going to say the reason why I'm optimistic is because I've been following the movements of capital for the last 40 years. It's not because I'm smarter than anybody, it's just because I'm older than most. So you have this privilege to see I put my timer here so my leader doesn't get me in trouble. So please, I know I'm Brazilian and should be worried about this, but I am. It's just exactly because of that. But so it started with the expeditions and exploring farthest places in the world, and I witnessed, in person, the problems of nature, social elements that would really damaging the planet. And I realized by talking to people much, much smarter than me, big businessmen, big scientists, academia, that the problem that I was visualizing on my experiences with environment, they were not just because the environment was killing itself. It was caused by humans because of the pursuit of a better quality of life, using the wrong technologies, making investments that were not exactly adequate and not compatible with natural resources and blah, blah, blah. You guys know better than I do what happened. So I went back from a very high mountain in 1985 and I created ProNatura, which is a development agency. And we then started my relationship with capital. On those days, the capital that we have available to help solutions were corporate sponsorships and some public capital. And with that, we really made a lot of differences and created large programs. Anyway, it was very effective. But it was not enough. It was just a drop in the bucket, very, very small compared to the scale of the problem. In my dictionary, the word solution has to have the same scale of the word problem that has caused it. So in order to get a solution to something, you have to have the same scale. So what we were doing then was nice, but not a solution. So in 1992, the term sustainability was consolidated by the United Nations Conference in Rio. So they added social and economic to environment. So that really motivated me, and they gave us a couple of awards, recognition. So it was the right time to pass on the agency to a proper management to grow it. And I went to the private sector, to the financial world specifically, because I needed to understand how really capital moved and how to influence, help influence the movements of capital towards the right direction. And then I started a small venture capital fund in partnership with the IFC. And it was the first of its kind. It had a positive impact in biodiversity mandate. It was small, very difficult, have all the scars to show, like my former speaker here this morning. But it worked. And it created a small bank dedicated to sustainability. And 12 years ago, really, it consolidated and I was very privileged to co-found Earth Capital, which is the entity was founded in the UK with 5 British partners, and presently is the largest private equity firm in the world, to my knowledge, that exclusively invests in sustainability. So Earth Capital had, then the movements of capital really changed at that moment. It had changed already in the venture capital that I created with the IFC in 92, because we had like 80% private investors and 20% grants. So different kinds of blended finance. Before it was not blended really, it was just corporate gifts and public money. This started to be blended, the first venture capital fund. And then in terms of Earth Capital, I experienced several different kinds of blended finance. Earth Capital has a sister company, has a couple of sister companies. One of them is Berkeley Energy, and it invests in 2023 it will have deployed $1.5 billion in renewable energy in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. But most of this money is DFI money. So it's not grant money, it's public money, but it's public money that needs to be returned with a profit. It may be a little more patient, it may be a little less expensive, but still, it's not purely private money. There's a little bit of private money there, but mostly was DFI money. There's another sister company of Earth Capital, which is SDCL, which is an investment trust that is deploying about $1 billion into energy efficiency. And this is global. It's a FTSE 250 company. It's a very structured, it's a big sister. But Earth Capital itself also has some investments so this is also DFI and private capital, this is Promon. But in terms of purely private capital, I'll give one example of our investments as Earth Capital, which is in Botswana. We invested in agribusiness, in food production, and we changed that industry, investing capital in the proper way, that from the traditional agribusiness, we moved into greenhouses. Greenhouses, you use a lot less land, a lot less water, less diesel, less chemicals. So it's a very smart way to do agribusiness. You have the possibility of aggregating solar energy to the process, displacing grid coal-fired energy into the whole process, but in a commercial scale that not only feeds and supplies the farm, the operation, but also sells to the grid, and it's an extra source of income. And eventually will become something that involves also even residences and private residences combined. So it's a real new format, but that is only private capital. There's some equity capital from ourselves and bank debt, but private bank debt, not DFI. So it's already another step towards a difference. And I'd like to also bring a very, you feel that I'm growing the scale of the examples I'm making. And I want to make a big one close to home here, which is the offshore wind industry in the UK. It started with public money, but now it's completely private money and it's profitable. So it shows that you can kick off something, you can use public money to catalyze and crowd private investments, but it can be done. Private investment can be filled, can come into these new technologies in the new forms of energy and all that. So this is, I would like to finalize with an example from my own home, which I was just very proud yesterday to witness, which was the announcement of the governor of Mato Grosso state. Mato Grosso, if you're a country, independent country, it would be the 4th largest producer of agribusiness and food in the world. It's a huge place. And the governor announced yesterday a net zero 2035 commitment, which is very interesting because the government is not going to use one penny for that. It's all private sector. The government is going to create the legal framework, the governance structure, as we've said in this house a few times. This is the role of the legislators and the government. But the investment capital will be made by private companies. And they will together structure that. And going full cycle now, I started with the little community investments from ProNatura. And now I'm talking about a whole state, the 4th largest producer in the world. The program that is being announced by the government is called PCI, Produce, Conserve, and Include. The include part of that refers to aggregating the little small producers that are usually left out into larger scale groups, organized groups that can provide a lot of benefits to everybody, and to integrate them with the large producers. So that's a very new step. I have never seen this scale of project with this scope in my life in the world, as old as I am. I haven't seen that yet. So that's really, really exciting. What I'm closing here, my remark, I think blended finance is the reason and the evolution of the sophistication of blended finance and technology in general are the two reasons, the pillar reasons of my optimism. I think we're going to make it. And I'd like to make two references to previous speakers. My previous colleague here told me about instead of creating a green rules making in a house like this, making green rules, this house would be green markets. And this is what the Mato Grosso state is preparing, has demonstrated it can do. And just citing Lord Deben, just spoke a little bit, a very close friend and a mentor to me. And he basically says something very simple. And he speaks beautifully. And he said something that really resonates to me. Making the world a better place is nice, is good, feels good. So, and I have to witness that too, because that's an experience that I lived for the last 40 years working on this. So here's the reason for my optimism. Thank you.
Thank you.